You got the wedding coming up tomorrow, and you're going to be officiating the wedding. This is your first time officiating a wedding?
Yeah, it is. I didn't know what to do. It took a little bit of prep, but I'm ready to make this a real home run of a wedding. Because Skip was a baseball player, so, you know.
You'll notice that all the guests I bring on the show not only have something to offer the community, but they usually have a background in sports. They have a funny story behind them. Let's talk a little bit about you, Grant. You have a fun background in sports as well. A lot of people don't know this. You are a dual citizen, Canadian and American. So now that Trump has won, where are we going to find you on the borderline?
Well, he's not building a wall currently, so we're going to be okay on that side of the border. I'll be traveling back and forth frequently without any problems.
So Canada, if you had to choose between U.S. or Canada?
Oh man, I mean, if I had to really throw my hat in the ring, yeah, both places have a lot to offer. We don't have a San Diego in Canada. I'm a big hockey guy. I know you guys got the goals, making goals, right?
The San Diego goals. Let's talk about this. So we tried to get the football stadium to move downtown, and there was we had a huge on election day. It was a bill we were trying to pass, or a measure to move the football stadium downtown, which surprisingly failed miserably. I mean, with the Chargers and their record, I don't know how it happened. But the next thing that happened was the San Diego Gulls, who play at the the Valley View Casino Center. Mm-hmm. Over on Sports Arena, where said, you know what, forget it. Why don't we build a hockey arena downtown? And so that's kind of something people are talking about here in San Diego.
I like that. I used to be against California hockey, but it yields a lot of great hockey fans and some championship teams, some Stanley Cup champs. So I kind of changed my tune about California hockey, so I welcome the goals.
Well, the reason we're talking about hockey, not only the fact that Grant comes from Canada, but also he is the coach of the University of New Mexico Lobos hockey team. And it's a funny story because when Grant started out at University of New Mexico hockey, it was just a club team. They barely had jerseys, barely had enough money to even get ice time in Albuquerque. And what he's done is he's stepped in and he's built a program essentially from like I said, a club team up into a ranked college program, and it's been impressive to watch that grow. But Grant, talk about your struggle as far as getting that program up and running in New Mexico.
Yeah, well, I can remember when I was going to school, and I was playing alongside my brother. I kind of did it just I'd taken a 6 or 7 year break off of hockey, and my dad got fairly sick, so I wanted him to see my brother and I play in the same team. And what happened was we were a great team, but only our parents were cheering us on in the stands. So through public media and social media, we actually got the stands to grow, and my hometown of Albuquerque was able to see a flourishing hockey team, much to their surprise, and one of the few winning teams at our university, sadly enough, but I don't mind.
So talk about the rankings. I know that over the past, you've been there 5 to 10 years, and you guys have just been scraping by trying to get noticed. Albuquerque's not a hotbed for sports just because it's located in a high desert, you're surrounded by the mountains, and it's there's no real reason that it would be a hotbed for sports, but you've taken it, you've grown. Talk about the rankings this year.
Yeah, okay, so it's the first time in about 6 years that UNM has been ranked. Previously, the team that I was on was ranked 4th, and for the first time we got ranked 5th. In the last 5 seasons, we were ranked 11th, and that wasn't enough to make us go to the playoffs, so we're hoping to continue the run, but this has been an unprecedented Lobo team in terms of me being the coach.
Yeah, it's been fun to watch. If you're just tuning in right now, you're listening to AM 1170. It's KCB Q. Again, I'm your host, Skip Adams, keeping you between the lines here on Friday night as you head home from a happy hour after a long week of work. In studio, again, Grant Harvey, who is a dual citizen and head coach of the University of New Mexico Lobo hockey team. He's in town. He's actually officiating my wedding. And what we're doing is we're kind of chatting a little bit about mortgages, because that's, at the end of the day, that's how Grant makes his money. This being a real estate talk show, we're going to talk about rates, kind of what to expect with the Trump administration, how is that going to affect us moving forward, where are people putting their money as far as investors. And so for more information about the show or about topics we're covering tonight, I urge you to visit the website. Again, it's skipadams.info. We're going to be answering some callers, or we're going to answer some listener questions here at the end of the show. To follow us on Twitter and join the conversation, again, it's at @SkipAdamsCA. And if you have a question, use the hashtag BetweenTheLinesSD. So getting back in touch with Grant, Long flight. Here's the thing. Grant's visited San Diego a few times, and we had an absolute blast at my bachelor party. The thing about Grant, though, and you can't be mad at him, though. What he does is, to save money and for convenience, he always takes the early flight out of Albuquerque, which means he leaves at 6 o'clock and has this uncanny ability to land in San Diego at 8 in the morning, which happens to be rush hour traffic. And I always get that unnerving phone call at 8 a.m. saying, hey, I'm on the curb, can you come get me at the airport? Let's talk a little bit about your thinking.
Well, I was under the impression that only Albuquerque had morning traffic, and so I've come to the conclusion that other cities have it as well. I just keep trying the idea that maybe it'll have a small reprieve by the next time I make a flight at 8 a.m. and defy rush hour, and to. Listeners shouldn't worry about Skip because he always has me taking Uber, so he does not have to suffer through traffic. So there should be no pity calls consoling him about his ride.
Well, what I do is the show is all about connecting community and helping people out and putting you in touch with people that can make a difference. So if you needed an Uber, I highly recommend it because not only does it pay for bills for college kids, but it also keeps the economy growing. And again, that's the premise of this show here, Between the Lines on KCB Q. But moving forward, so the wedding, I got to be honest, I'm a little nervous. I'm pretty excited, though. We got the wedding coming up. It's tomorrow. We're doing it downtown. If you guys want to come to the wedding, I definitely urge you to come out. There's plenty of room for everybody. It's going to be an open bar, open buffet, and it'll be downtown in the Gaslamp. You'll know where to find us because you'll see us in our tough
fireworks.
Yeah, you know what? We should add fireworks to the show. I think
I've got fireworks for the show, so don't worry. I am being the best officiator that ever was. I am going to light fireworks, whether or not your mom allows it.
My mom, and of course Ashley Murphy, being the general who will lay that down. But Grant, you're here today to talk. Let's talk business because at the end of the day, this is a real estate show, and the listeners want to know. Rates have taken a huge spike up. We're in like the 4% again. I was trying to do a refinance. I couldn't even get it done because the rates went up so high. Talk to me a little about where are we going, why are the rates so high, and who do we blame?
Yeah, there's generally some myths that go on about the election. Inherently, they always go higher. Gas prices sink, and if you really record over the period of the last 20 years, there's no rhyme or reason for rates going up or oil prices going up or down. By the basis of an election. I'll tell you what happened in this instance. There's a lot of a lack of consumer confidence in Trump and the administration, and there's been a lot of people pulling out of the 10-year bond. Generally, the United States 10-year bond has been a flight to safety. So it's where you park your money if you want things to be safe and have a consistent growth. People have jumped out of the 10-year bond and parked it elsewhere. So they're not parking it in the NASDAQ or the Dow or the 10-year bond. And so inherently, mortgage bonds are attached to the 10-year bond. It's not off of Fed rate. And so we saw the 10-year bond go from about a 1.78 to now we got a 2.31. That in real terms has made mortgage rates hop 0.5% in the matter of 3 weeks.
And 0.5% on a loan in California is a big deal because as the median home price starts to climb above $550,000, it makes a big difference in your purchasing power. So coming up next, you're going to want to stay tuned. We have some fantastic guests coming in. Tess Adams is in studio all the way from New York City. She's on a countrywide press tour to promote promote the opening of her new store in New York and also in California. And you're going to want to stay tuned because TJ Kirchhoff, again, our real estate broker, is going to be in studio. He's going to talk about the 8 home improvement myths that will not increase the value of your home as thought. So I want to encourage you to stay tuned here on AM 1170 KCBQ. It's Skip Adams keeping you between the lines.